How can you carry out aggregations on SQL? You can carry out aggregations on SQL by making use of group functions. Now, how does group functions work? Now, group functions would work on a set of rules, or it would operate on a set of rules to return one result per group. This set may comprise the entire table or the table split into groups. Now, examples of group functions in SQL are the sum, your count, your average, your max, and your mean. There are still a couple of aggregation functions that you can use in SQL, but these are like the most common one you would come in contact with. Now, the group function is placed after the select keyword, and you may have multiple functions separated by a comma. Let us look at how this pseudocode is written. Now you have your select column 1, column 2, and the aggregation is then taking place on column 3. Then from schema table name, where column X being any column from that table, we now have our group by clause here. In this case, we are grouping by column 1 and column 2. So here is the rule. In your select clause, any column that doesn't have an aggregated function will definitely be included in the group by clause. Now, what that means is that looking at column 1 and column 2, which do not have an aggregation, we then now place these two columns in our group by clause. So the rule here states that any column in your select clause that do not have an aggregation would definitely be placed in the group by clause. Now let's head over to our server and see how that works. We are back on our console to solve a business question using a couple of aggregations. Now your manager wants to know the total price, the average price, the max price, and minimum price for all products. Now, he also wants to know how many of these products exist in the inventory. So basically, what we want to do is we want to know the total price, the average price, the max price, and the mean price for all products, right, for each product column. So we could say select. So first of all, we want to get the total price. So we'll say sum, and we are summing the standard cost. So we'll do the same thing for average. So we'll say AVG as the aggregation and call standard cost. We'll check for max. So we'll do max standard cost. We'll then now do the same thing for mean and say mean standard cost. But we want it broken down for every product column. Now all these are coming from sales LT dot product. Now the rule states that as long as we have a couple of aggregations in our select clause, I will then now group by every other column in my select clause that is not aggregated. In this case, it's the column. And we also need how many of this product exist in the inventory. So here we'll say count star. Right, now let's give all these an alias, right? So we'll call these as total cost. We'll call these as average cost. We'll call the max as the maximum cost. And we'll call this as mean cost. Then we'll call this as product count. Okay, now we have all grouped by the color. So we'll run this and execute. We'll then now have how many products The black color 89, we have the mean cost, the max cost, the average, and the total cost.